Good morning, Colts. Happy Wednesday, September 6th. This is this week's version, video version of the Wooster Roundup. Hope you're doing well out there in Colt territory. Here's what's up. I want to remind you about SLOs. SLOs for your assessments and your learning content. They are due September 13th. A few of you have actually already submitted those SLOs. Keep them coming because we can get them turned around and approved as soon as possible so you can implement them. But remember, you cannot issue the assessment without being approved. So make sure that you submit your learning content and your assessment, upload it not only in my PGS but also put a hard copy in my box, and we will approve those as soon as possible so that you can get on your merry way. All right? I want to remind you today, after school, during PLC time, it is our staff meeting. Once a month we will have a staff meeting. It'll be held in the Hart Theater, so please mosey on down there the minute the bell rings so we could get started. We're going to be covering a little bit of how we're going to be doing shout-outs this year. We're also going to cover special education and 504 updates, as well as tardy policy. So we have some information to share with you there. I want to remind you of our expectations at Wooster High School, and that's teacher expectations. I want to remind you that number one, we want you to model that Colt learner profile. Those are those 10 magic words that we hold true, that how we want to treat each other, we want to treat our students, we want students to treat each other as well. So make sure that when you're lesson planning that you're modeling and you're implementing that Colt learner profile. Also, remember to be in the hallways to greet students during passing and to welcome them into your classroom. The class period starts the minute the bell rings, and that means being out in the hallway, saying hello to students and getting that instruction started even in the hallways. I want to remind you to post objectives on the board. Those are learning objectives for the day. Those need to be posted along with, if you want to put your agenda on the board, that's fine. But remember, objectives are not an agenda. Objectives really are what the students will be able to learn by the end of the class period, and refer to them often, all right? We want to make sure that you're lesson planning. The expectation is that you are lesson planning daily, and that you that's your map, your guide basically for student learning, and so ensure that you are lesson planning. We want to make sure that you're providing choices and that students are authentically engaged. When you're lesson planning, those choices, you're going to be selecting those because you know your students and you know what your students need in your classroom to engage in learning. So ensuring that you're providing choices for students across the board, okay? We want to also make sure that you're checking for understanding formatively and summatively, whether you're just making sure that kids are following along with the learning, that you're not just talking and you're not just going on to the next thing, that you're making sure that every step of the way your students are understanding what it is what they are to be learning, and that you're adjusting instruction accordingly. Want to make sure that you're utilizing your audio enhancement system. So remember to use the teardrop and whatnot, and make sure that kids are able to hear you. That's not just for our deaf and hard of hearing students. That's for all kids. Research does show that audio enhancement system even kind of keeps those kids that are towards the back of the classroom engaged as well. Okay. And then finally, reminding you to participate in your PLCs, participate in your common preps, and participate in IEPs and 504s. That's a must as well. All right. Thank you so much for helping us make Wooster a great place, and it's because of you. So now it's time to talk about our winners. So I'm going to have Heatha again join me because she was such a hit last time. But we're going to talk about basically winning the coveted Scarlet Pin. So we have a team to give out that this week for our winners, as well as we also are going to go over our overall winners and whatnot. So here we go. So come on in, Heatha.
Hi.
All right, Heatha. So tell everybody what we gauged this week's winners on.
Okay, so this week it was on the participation of activities and like really recording them on those sheets that were sent out. And it was on hallways, attending the games, going to the car wash that the band hosted last week on Saturday. It was mainly just those things, and there's a new one this week also with all this week's events from Wednesday to Wednesday.
And actually Wednesday to Tuesday, we decided.
Wednesday
to Tuesday. Yeah,
Tuesday.
that's great, yeah. Okay, so Heatha, do you want to tell everybody which team wins the red pin?
Okay, Adventureland!
Adventureland! Woo!
The awesome red pin.
So we're going to be coming around today to give you your pin, Adventureland. Congratulations, you are the winner. Now, we have also progress for overall winners, and we're going to start with 8th place. 8th place is?
Tomorrowland.
7th place is?
Step your game up, Tomorrowland.
7th place is? New Orleans Square. 6th place?
Fantasyland.
5th place?
Toontown.
4th place?
Adventureland.
3rd place?
Main Street USA.
And a drum roll, please. Second place is
Critter Country.
and first place is
Frontierland.
So keep on winning out there, folks. Next week, we emailed you guys the tracking sheet. Get on that. We're pretty excited about the tracking sheet. Thanks for all you do out there. Stay swanky in Colt territory.